This the War Report, coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here, no safe space. Now listen in, time to hear from some of the greats.
And, oh yes, this is weird. Hell yeah, guys. Let's see here. He's gonna hit the thing. There it is. Well, welcome everybody. I'm here, and StreamYard changed around a bunch of stuff in the background, so I'm all kinds of confused, but we'll figure it out. We're here now. This is the War Report After Dark. Steve is on a well-deserved vacation. We still got a full house tonight, though. I'm Vince. We got Al, the chairman, and Kat here with us, and we got. We got, I want to say a lot to talk about because there are two, and I know last week was a separate thing, but there's big things happening with both wrestling companies, AEW and WWE, in terms of their streaming, services. So AEW debuted on Max in the new year, and then this Monday we had WWE Raw debut on Netflix, and that is a whole other experience. It's live. Some countries don't have commercials, and what I mean it's live, it's like uncensored live. It's not like the 7-second delay live like we used to have. It's live and in public, if you will, that is. So
fuck you solo, just like clear as day.
And some guy just walking Jey Uso to the ring with a lit blunt. Yeah, just
Travis Scott.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Not that he's some guy. Travis Scott's a very famous guy. But why wouldn't? All right, I'll get. So why wouldn't Travis Scott come out with Mick Foley? Because Travis Scott has the Cactus Jacks. Those are his shoes, right? Why wouldn't he come? Mick Foley should have came out with.
Also, his belt too, the hardcore title.
Yes, he had the hardcore title. Apparently, which I think is pretty cool. Mick Foley gave Travis Scott his blessing to use Cactus Jack. He's not like charging money or anything. He's just like, hey, there's a new Cactus Jack. It's you, boy. Go for it. I guess when you got two titanium hips.
That was just pretty freaking cool to watch, though, man, because stuff that you would normally see, like if you go to a house show with the chants and all the bullshit that goes on, to actually watch it in real time on a show was actually pretty bad.
Yeah, it's a different experience now for sure. And there's no time limit in terms of like Netflix has said 3 hours is like a suggestion. So they could go under if they don't have enough, or if they have too much, they can go over 3 hours. And because it's live on Netflix, it doesn't matter. There's nothing like Big Bang Theory isn't coming up next, or Young Sheldon or whatever it is.
But was it? Or because there was no commercials last night, the 3 hours didn't seem as dragging as it used to be watching it on Raw? Or was it just the excitement of the show? But like, it did not feel like a long, dragged out show.
I think it was the excitement of the show. I felt like a kid again, waiting there 10 minutes before it started, excited, seeing the countdown clock. I just felt overall it was a great experience. Me, I think all of us here are a little bit older, so you know, being able to stay up the whole 3 hours,
Well,
that
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 part was hard.
that
Yes.
Yeah.
that 45 marker, that 10:30 marker is getting challenging. So this having it being able to be streamed and then kind of going back to it if I need to, worst case scenario. I think that's a
Right.
big deal now too.
Yeah, like uh, I think yeah that the advantages of Netflix. I mean, DVR you could still DVR stuff, but Netflix is just like it's there. You don't have to worry about setting a DVR. You don't have to worry about anything.
I love how you prefaced it as well with AEW getting onto Max. I think that with the simulcasting that was really cool, and I actually
Yeah.
started to watch it again because I took a little bit of hiatus from AEW
Mhm.
from the crash that they've been, but it was good to have them there too. So got some competition out there. I like it.
Yeah, and just like over the weekend, there was Wrestle Kingdom from New Japan, and then Wrestle Dream, which was the CMLL New Japan AEW co-promotion. No, that's a long night. I didn't stay up until 5 a.m. to watch Japanese wrestling, but I did watch it, and great stuff. Kenny Omega came back. There's a bunch of New Japan guys are kind of getting in the mix now and like making a name for themselves, where like American fans are going to recognize them. My cat just ran and knocked the thing out of my headphones.
I
Okay.
was just gonna say, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, my 200-pound cat that thinks it's 10 pounds ran by and got itself caught in my headphone thing and ripped it out. Luckily, it's detachable and it didn't just like knock everything on my table over. But we're good now. Yeah, man. So everybody's kind of running on all cylinders. Let's talk a little bit about this Raw because I think there was a lot of stuff going on. There were celebrities. There was like a lot of nostalgia. There was old wrestlers, but also like Macaulay Culkin was there. Like the weirdest group of celebrities you could think of were all there for this Netflix debut. And then there was a wrestling show on top of it. So
It felt like a PLE. It felt like a pay-per-view. It definitely had that big fight feel, and having that crowd. I mean, it is in LA, so it's kind of a cheat code because all the stars are already in LA. But I think to your point, if you break it down, for me, just quickly running down the highlights, the old school Raw and 30 type of situation, right?
yeah.
Starting right off with that package. I mean, WWE's packages are just lights out. They can't make a mistake with these things, man. It was beautiful. I
I
think
want freaking canvas painting.
so. I think that starting off with that was awesome.
Mm.
Then when they dropped the curtain and Triple H was there, giving the gimmick, running down the lines, that was awesome. Then bringing The Rock out to start was just huge. Was kind of a surprise to see The Rock being a little more corporate than he should have been. I thought he'd be in character. He kind of semi-broke character and just went in, for Netflix business, which makes sense. But I definitely wanted to see the final boss. I guess he let that go. And then, only having I think it was 4 matches, right? I think that really helped because it allowed them the time to tell the stories. It allowed them to put on a solid show or put on a match and not force it, not rush it, not just try to get to the next segment. So I think that plus all the nostalgia and everything you said was pretty damn good. And I know Kat's gonna hit us with this in a few, but Hogan being booed is fucking fantastic. I mean, that shit was. I did not expect it.
No.
Definitely thought it was gonna go a different route, but what do you think?
I'm sorry. I loved it.
It's just a weird thing. Like, first of all, real American beer, the logo being on the mat, the whole thing is like, it's very strange. This real American beer thing kind of came out of nowhere in the last like 6 months or so. And like Hogan's been making a real big push. He's been going all over, like he's been going to like liquor stores and stuff all over the country to promote this beer. I have a feeling it's just dog shit. Like it's like Miller Lite. You know what I mean? Like what could it possibly be? Real American beer is like a knockoff Budweiser or whatever. Like I'm just not sure what a real American beer.
He's not a real
like.
man. That's all.
Do you think it would taste like hot dog skins, like his actual skin?
spray can or whatever.
Hey,
Yeah.
brother, this is the Hulkster. I put real Hogan beard hairs in the beer, brother.
There's Rogaine in it.
He
We
should have called it back surgery. I would have bought that beer. The back surgery would have been a fantastic fucking beer.
Maybe there's some right guard sport stick in it. Who knows?
That's right. Yeah, for the sophisticated, whatever. Like, remember that? Oh, that's a great commercial. Let's see. So, I gotta try and.
I have not tried the beer, so I can't say anything until I try it. But again, it's a gimmick. It's a promo. It's Hogan selling, Hogan products. He'll always sell. It's just Hogan. But I mean, can he knock the guy from trying to, make another dollar on a
Hogan? Hogan reminds me of Gene Simmons. Like, his Gene will throw that Kiss logo on friggin' anything. There's Kiss caskets. You can get a Kiss casket. Good for you.
God.
But
if you can make a buck, go for it. Can't knock anyone's hustle.
Yeah, but it almost makes sense that he got booed on the West Coast. I wonder if it was like Madison Square Garden or somewhere a little more Hogan friendly. He wouldn't have been booed, but I don't know. Like Florida, maybe. I don't know.
He's getting booed everywhere he goes lately, though. This isn't the first time this has happened to him. It's just the first time it happened live on national television.
Right.
Or streaming service, whatever you want to call it.
So I feel like he came out at WrestleMania. Well, there was a WrestleMania he came out and he got booed. Was it 37?
Didn't he botch that though? He basically said they were in a different town or something.
Yeah, he called it the Superdome when it was the Superdome.
I was there for that. There for that. That was fun. But the WrestleMania 37, he was dressed up like a pirate or something and then got booed on TV. Yeah, he got booed there. So I guess the tide's been turning on him, but like
he's been going down for a while.
Well, yeah, ever since that phone call with Nick, the prison phone call leaked. And then what happens is leaked. There was controversy then, but then it died down. And now that the internet, how they are, like it's bubbled back up. Like the distaste for Hogan and his use of whatever word he used has that's gone back up. There was a time where like people were mad and then it went down and nobody kind of cared. And now people care again.
It's really hard for him to backpedal from that. He is Hulk Hogan. He
said it on tape.
He's a big name. He's from our childhood. He put over wrestling, the business, right? But at the same time, you can't come back from, those things he said and what he did. It's really tough. No matter what you say, no matter how you apologize, it's not okay,
And he says the same thing every time wherever he is now. It was, I went with the Macho Man. Ooh, yeah, I went toe-to-toe with Andre the Giant. Dude, we know the kayfabe is over. We know none of them liked you, so stop bringing them up. It wasn't that the characters didn't like you, and him as individuals didn't like you. The jig is up. We don't care anymore.
Well, I guess maybe is it his Trump association as well? Because apparently he wore a MAGA Powers shirt instead of Mega Powers, and it was like a Make America Great Again MAGA Powers kind of deal. I don't know.
Well, yeah, he did that at the RNC, but no, it has nothing even really to do with that because Undertaker was there, and Undertaker got a huge ass pop, and Taker's a big Trump supporter, so Kane.
Taker's entire closet is 9-line apparel T-shirts. Yeah.
Right, but Taker is a big time. So, Undertaker and Kane escorted Linda McMahon to the RNC. It's not a secret about JBL. What's his name? Brodus Clay. It has nothing to do with being a Trump or a Republican or anything like that. In regard
on all that, I just think it's tough when celebrities get involved in politics, right? I just think it's better to not say anything and just kind of be a celebrity, right? Even for us, we could all have our own opinions, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's about personal, right? But when you put it out in a public forum as a celebrity, it really starts to deter and throw things. So I think Hogan no matter what anyone says, he's an icon. He'll always be an icon for wrestling, and the nostalgia will always be there. Yes, he's much older. Yes, he can barely walk. It doesn't look right. But, you got to give him respect for what he did for the business. But besides that, I mean, this guy's got to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah,
I
pretty
think
much.
I think it'd be better if he just shuts his fucking mouth, in my opinion.
You know what though? In all honesty, Autumn put this great last night. She goes, "I love Hulk Hogan. I don't like Terry."
There it is. There it is.
That's all I want to say. Good call. Very well said.
I watched the McMahon documentary yesterday for the first time because, WWE stuff's on Netflix now. So I was like, okay, let's see what's on here. I watched that, and they talked a lot about, Vince McMahon's relationships with Hulk Hogan. And when I looked at it, I was like, okay, Hulk Hogan is this guy in the ring, but when you look at Terry, he's actually an asshole.
Oh, wow.
All he wanted was money. All he wanted was money and fortune. And when you look at it, I mean, it's just kind of sad that he spent all this time in the WWE and for what? Just for him to go to rivals for a bigger paycheck?
He's talking about WCW and W. Yeah.
Like, grow a pair.
But it's a fair point, though. She's right. We grew up, we love Hulk Hogan. We don't
Didn't like Terry.
Yeah, Terry's a jerk. But now Terry is using Hulk as opposed to the other way around when Hulk used to just be Hulk and Terry was someone different. Now Terry uses Hulk Hogan as his motivation.
What's that old cliche? They say never meet your heroes.
Right?
Thing, right? So you just, again, you look at the spectacle, you look at the star, you look at the icon, you leave it at that. You know what I mean? That's it.
Well, I don't care. Like I said, I don't care about what he does and what he likes in politics or doesn't like. It's like the same thing with Jesse Ventura. A lot of people turned on Jesse Ventura when he was governor. Okay, whatever. You don't have to like it, but Jesse Ventura never brought politics into wrestling.
This is true.
Yeah. He did it after. Yeah.
I think so. What would you say if you review it all? You know what I mean? From I think the biggest numbers was like 242 million watched on Netflix. First Raw, which is insanity, right? So if you're looking at that, what would you guys say? Flip the coin. What was the only negative or bad thing besides Hogan? Was there anything that you could say you didn't like, or you wouldn't have wanted to watch, or wasn't done well? What would you guys say?
I think your initial thing about The Rock, where you said he was a little more corporate, rings true, because it's weird. He had a big feud with Cody Rhodes, and then he's talking about say hi to Mama Rhodes for me and all this happy horse shit. It's like, you're supposed to still not like this guy. And two, he called Roman Reigns the tribal chief and acknowledged him as a tribal chief at the end of the thing. Wasn't the whole idea I thought at the end of that WrestleMania, The Rock got sent packing, Roman lost to Cody. There are now 3 people trying to be the tribal chief. You know what I mean? It's Solo and Roman and Rock. And Rock, I thought I just thought there was supposed to be tension between either him, The Rock, and Cody, or The Rock and Roman to set up something. Rumble, Mania, something.
Excuse me.
I think that has to be scrapped though now because of the Moana 2 stuff. Though The Rock is not able to commit this year.
I think that's a big part of it, and it sucks because of his schedule. But I think even though at least if you're on the first Netflix Raw, you should have given us something, right? And I think I was waiting that moment when he was in the ring with Roman. I was just waiting, like a rock bottom, a hit in the back of the head, just give me something. Let Paul Heyman do his facial expressions with his jaw on the floor. Like that would have went over huge, just a little something.
Yeah.
That would have definitely made all the difference in the world. But to Kat's point, I think it's unfortunate. Maybe his schedule was too jammed that he just can't commit. So at least he'll just gets there, puts his name on the marquee, right? Sells a couple more tickets, and we'll keep him moving. I mean, he's at NXT tonight, I believe, right?
Oh, probably. I'm not even watching. I mean, we're here. Yeah. But you know who is going to be full time for and this is a weird one, announced as full time for the entire year, meaning he's taking off filming projects and all that shit, is John Cena. John Cena, who's in oh God, what's that Marvel thing that he's in? He's in DC. Or DC, rather. Peacemaker. That's got to be filming soon. I mean, I feel like he's an in-demand guy in Hollywood right now, as weird as that sounds. And for him to take a whole year off, I mean, good on him.
Part of filming, though.
What's that?
I said, I think John Cena's finished with his part of the film already, though.
Okay, so everything that he's been filming is
Yeah, I
Done.
believe his is a show on Max, but basically I believe James Gunn, who runs all of DC now, is really like basing his character in the middle of the whole DC universe, which is
Mhm.
kind of crazy to think, and it's pretty awesome that he's a pivotal character that everyone's going to kind of branch off of. So
Right.
maybe to your point, his part of the filming is done. I mean, it's going to be sick to see him back. We'll get
Yeah.
the moves, we'll get the promos, but I just feel like I don't believe it's going to be a full year. I definitely think it's going to be a pick and choose, type of situation. But what he did last night again shows that he's still the best on that microphone. I mean, this guy just knows how to work a crowd. This guy knows how to, shoot a
Oh
promo.
yeah.
That's his ability. The guy is the best at it. I think to the degree, and I always hated Cena, but as far in the microphone, the guy's the best. There's nobody better.
Well, yeah, well, he's doing his job if you hate Cena. Like I said, I'm not a big Cena fan in the ring or whatever, but you can't deny his talent. He's up
Right.
there. For
Yeah, I just
sure.
don't like his face.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I was never a fan of his wrestling until like the last year or two that he was full time. Like right around the time that he lost to Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and he was doing those U.S. Open challenges and stuff. Like he was actually wrestling instead of just like, I don't know, doing whatever he was doing when he was feuding with Carlito on SmackDown.
Come on, Sam. When are you? We can't root for the Bostonian.
Right. My one thing that John Cena needs, though, he needs to get the phone number of MJF's hair transplant doctor in Turkey.
I think because of the whole filming, he's going to leave that hair because he can't change his character, so he's going to wait. Do you guys think he's going to go heel or what?
Who, Cena?
Yeah.
No.
Not in his last year. No.
I think they're going to try and go babyface versus babyface, Cody versus Cena, and the crowd is going to turn on Cody.
Big time.
Yeah. I think that's the move.
And then Cody goes heel.
If he wants it, this is Mr. I quit AEW because I didn't want to go heel, so I can't wait to see him turn heel for his new dad, Triple H. Go cry again. Oh, I had to turn heel. I'm going to go cry. Oh, I turned babyface. I'm going to go cry. My mom fucking sneezed and wiped her ass. I'm going to go cry. Ugh. Did he cry because they got the most Netflix streams ever for a live event? He wasn't going, oh, look at all the streaming numbers. Ugh.
No, he wasn't crying in the press conference. He was close, but he didn't cry.
All right, yeah.
I think Rhea cried more, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, but I mean, she got like a big. Okay, so speaking of that, that's like that's the next thing on the list here. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. This was the moment we've been waiting for since the initial pairing with them. We knew Dom was going to get broken off, and we knew Rhea was going to have to come back and get her revenge, and she was going to have to beat Liv Morgan. But then a bunch of injuries and shit got in the way, and now we finally, like maybe 6 months delayed from where we should be, we finally got the big moment of Rhea Ripley putting one over on Liv Morgan, and then, as we mentioned earlier, the fucking Undertaker comes out and puts her over. And she was already made, but that's made.
That was freaking awesome.
That was definitely made, but again, a little dicey for me. I mean, I just felt like a little too late, right, with this match. It was kind of anticlimactic. Again, they keep doing this thing where Rhea has to do 72 finishers to put away, an 80-pound girl, which is just, it's no disrespect, it's just weird to me. You don't need to do that twice, right? I love the fact that she was able to do the finish on Dom, and he sold her like a champion. And then it just felt weird. And then Undertaker came out. We could just saw him. She stood at the top of the ramp and waited for him, right? He then comes out, does his whole thing around the ring, then goes back, and it's like this awkward meetup. And he's like, all right, girl, you ready so we can throw up our fists together and give me a high five? And she fucks up the high five. How can you? You're going to be put over. You're going to be made, right? This is your rub, your blessing from Taker.
Right.
Like, you can't fuck this up. You have to do nothing.
Adrenaline and nerves, though,
Fuck
probably.
Yeah, nerves of what? You've been at WrestleMania. You've headlined WrestleMania. You've done all these great things, and you fuck up a high five. Like,
for those of you watching this video stream, if somebody's giving you a high five, you don't look at their hand, you look at their elbow.
High fives 101. Or guess what? I have an idea. Just keep your hand.
You keep yours still and make them hit you.
Not
Yeah.
move your hand, and the other person can do the rest of the work. You have to do nothing. You just wait.
I
So
love that.
besides that, I mean, the match was decent. It was all right. But I mean, I still feel like, Liv is a better star. She definitely has a better character, a better gimmick right now. She did a lot more, and I just think Rhea's flat. Like, where does Rhea go from here? I think that's the better question. Who is she going to feud with? That she has somebody.
Yeah. This is the same problem they had with China because she's so fucking big and strong, and a lot of these other girls, aside from like Raquel, there's a lot of just small, like Katana Chance. She could like shot put Katana Chance. You know what I mean? Like she's just so big, she almost has to wrestle dudes. Like you almost just want to be like, okay, put the U.S. title on her and have her wrestle Dom. Like I don't know, what the fuck do you do with Rhea Ripley?
Bianca, Jade.
Yeah.
There are
Oh God, she's got to carry Jade through a match. Fuck me.
How many times have we seen Bianca and Rhea Ripley? 82 since NXT, right? So we're gonna do that again. We're gonna bring Jade back. We bring Jade back eventually, but
you gotta do that with all the women, though. With how many women they are, they're always bouncing back and forth. How many times have we seen this match or that match or whatever with them or what have you?
True, but I just think it also depends on the context how you put it together, and I feel like there's enough women now with NXT that they could probably do their own show. So, excuse me, I don't think it's fair to keep recycling the same bullshit.
I heard Kat say the women were bouncing, and I just lost it. I can't. I haven't paid attention since she said the women were bouncing.
Classic.
Oh my God.
So
that's that segment. Oh,
there's no one that she's gonna go to, right? There's what storyline? Give me one story that makes sense. Jade can't come right back that fast. There's nobody gonna put in a program with Rhea because she can't carry a match. It's impossible. Right. So that's a mistake. There's nobody else. What, they're gonna bring her back and let her fight Natalya for the 88th time because there's nobody else? It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Leave it on Liv. Let this run out a little bit. Let Liv treat everybody like shit. You know what I mean? Let the Judgment Day implode continuously, and then take that belt from her. Make it seem like she's gonna go with Balor or she's gonna get back with Dom and start some shit, and then it was Rick and then fuck him over and take the belt and leave. That would have been a better storyline. But what do I know? Yeah. I don't write. I haven't read years.
But I don't think that they had originally planned for Liv's title run to be this long. I think it was that made it last that long, so that's why they did it last night, because it wasn't meant for this revenge tour to be that long of a revenge.
Well, we're probably going to see Liv come back for the rematch clause, and then Raquel Rodriguez will come in and flop because she can't carry a match for the fucking life of her, and that'll be it. We'll continue with it.
All right, so I've neglected the comments because Steve is usually on top of this. I apologize, commenters.
Well, Steve is.
Let's see here. We'll go right from the top. An hour and a half before the show starts, our buddy David Roscoe. Monday Night Raw kicked ass. CM Punk made Seth Rollins a CM Punk wannabe. Ooh. And then, of course, a minute later, Nadia Comaneci's original OG Trish Stratus of women's gymnastics. We acknowledge the tribal chief that is Nadia Comaneci. Yes. Let's see here. I love you, Nadia. They're doing it.
That was good.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna make that happen somehow. I don't know if I'm gonna Photoshop it. We're gonna do something. I love you, Nadia. That's got to be a new thing. Tara sent this freaking 15 minutes ago. I'm sorry, Tara. Hey guys, happy New Year. Hope you had a great holiday. Sorry for being late. No, we're sorry for being late because we started 2 minutes late because I was cooking a cauliflower pizza in the oven. Let's see. Forgive me for sounding dumb. Why were people booing Hogan? We kind of went over that. It could be the phone call thing, the potential racism thing, the Trump thing. Who knows? But yeah, we got that. And then the beer probably sucks too. Side note, for an 81-year. Listen, Jimmy Hart doesn't age.
The mouth of the South. That's it.
One time I almost had this done, and the owner of the restaurant that I was working at didn't want to pull the trigger for, I don't remember what it was, but for a couple $100, you could have Jimmy Hart come to your karaoke night and host karaoke.
Oh, how cool.
And he said his one thing was the only thing he required was that you have a karaoke track of the song "Keep on Dancing" by the Gentrys
That was his song.
because it was his song. Right.
Yep.
My favorite part about that song is listening. Like if you're a music fan, like a music listener, you like pay attention to songs. If you can pay attention, you can pick out Jimmy Hart's voice in that song pretty easily.
Yeah, but then had to do it. If you only knew.
Listen, if you could pull that off again, I'll pay for it.
Oh my God, yeah, he does it at Hogan's.
Yeah, but we got to go all the way to Tampa for that.
I know, but it's weird because like Hulk is there, like Nick is I think Nick is like the house DJ, and Hulk does the Hulk and Jimmy do the karaoke. It's crazy.
Hogan is the
road trip time. On the way down, we'll pick up Kat and we'll go to fucking Tampa.
Did you say that Nick Hogan is the DJ?
Yeah, I mean, Nick Hogan's been a DJ for 15 years, didn't you know?
Yeah.
Oh man, no, pick me up, man. Let's cause some trash.
Let's do
Dude,
it.
I want to see this. I want it to be like what's that Robert De Niro movie? They got the mobsters go in the bar and they lock the door at the bikers. Now you can't leave.
Yeah, Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale. Yeah, let's just do that. We go in.
Now you can't leave.
We lock up the Hogan's Beach Shop and start a bar fight. Tara did say hi to Sam. Good to see you.
Hey, Tara.
She is sad about Cena's retirement. Nobody's sad about Hogan's retirement because it happened 50 years ago.
70 years.
She doesn't want him to win the championship. We haven't talked about this yet.
We're going to Cena, or then we'll go to the other matches, right? Cena
Yeah, I just want to, because she said he won't win the champion. Do we think, are they pulling the trigger on Cena winning one of the 2 world titles at WrestleMania? Is that where we're going or no?
Hell no.
Hell yeah.
I just don't. I can't see it. I just don't know where you would go from there. That's kind of you're booking yourself into a corner, because that would mean he would have to stay longer. I mean, unless you just drop him out the next night, which would be.
Well, no, I mean he's saying his last year is the entirety of 2025. So maybe if you put it on him at WrestleMania, you take it off.
I'll bet any amount of money
December.
not go the full fiscal year. It's not possible.
Well,
I
that's
think
what
he's going from January to Mania, and that's it. Maybe SummerSlam.
right, and then he's not going. Again, Tara thinks he's not going heel, which I think he's not going heel either. Cena, that is. Oh my gosh, Tara, it's the Undertaker. Yes, we understand. And then Eric with the puns. It came crashing down at a hurt inside for Hulk.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Thank you much. And again, David Roska believes Seth Rollins is a CM Punk wannabe. We'll get into that as we get closer to that match.
We got to get to the Drew McIntyre match, and then we'll hit the Cena.
Yeah. So we got Drew and McIntyre and Jey Uso. Uso won. Cat just left, but what did you think from Travis Scott smoking Jey Uso down the aisle to everything else that happened in the match? What did you think of this one?
I felt a little underwhelmed. I think Jay has got something, but at certain times he's just lackluster. I think Drew is a fucking superstar. Since they gave him the opportunity to talk and the mic, he's been killing it. But I mean, again, if the baby face always just wins, I mean, what's the point of the feud? You know what I mean? The goal is to keep him down, and then at the end he takes that big win and gets to the next level, right? He'll always be mid-card. He could say he's main event all he wants, but without his entrance, what does he got? What do you think?
I agree as much as I think Jay, I hate to just say, yes, I love you, Nadia is a real thing. David, this is for you.
I love you, Nadia. You're welcome.
Sorry, I had to.
Steve, clip this. This is great.
Fought him for a few minutes. That's why I was quiet. I'm like, get on this shit now.
Thank you for that. That's
awesome.
Oh, that made my night. We're talking about this Jey Uso Drew McIntyre match. What do you think, Jacob Fatu, who loves Nadia Comaneci?
I love you, Nadia.
You're the only perfect 10. I love you, Nadia. Ty Dillinger's a piece of shit. I love you, Nadia.
If I'm fired, next week. It was nice knowing you both.
This is absolute. Listen, this is an homage. David knows that every single show he talks about Nadia Comaneci for the last 3 years. We're allowed to
If
a little,
only I put down a picture of Bela Karolyi with his hands like that, it would have been even better.
Oh, I would have fallen off my chair. Like the whole TV would have fallen off the wall back there. Holy shit. But what did you think about this Jey Uso Drew McIntyre match, Kat?
I was surprised by the finish, to be honest. I thought the finish just came out of nowhere, but I was good with. I enjoyed the match.
So before you got on, Chairman was saying that he thinks Drew, obviously is like he's a star ever since he's been able to really come into his own and like kind of talk off script and all that. Like he's really grown into his own. Whereas main event Jey Uso, it's a nickname. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is, but he's not really. He won this match, but he's still not a main event guy. Like I can't. Me and Chairman are on the same page here. We can't perceive him as like a main event guy.
He's the gimmick wrestler right now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying on that. But
you ever notice that he's blown up before he even gets into the ring? That's another problem. Like maybe you should take it easy on the entrance so you can perform in the ring. He's blown up before he even starts. It's like it's a great fucking entrance. You got to admit it's awesome. It's over as hell. But the fucking guy can't put on a match. I mean, how many super kicks and shitty splashes can you do? I don't know.
Okay, but how many over the years besides have been able to make Michael Cole stand on a table?
Well, that was Pat McAfee who did that. So
right,
it wasn't Pat McAfee.
But it's cool. Like, but when you think of somebody like when you think main event Jey Uso, then you have to think. This is always my thought experiment. You look at you picture in your mind a WrestleMania commercial or a poster for WrestleMania, and the main event, all the graphics swirl around. WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all. Blah 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 blah. Our main event, defending world champion Jey Uso, and you're like, Is that a main event? Is that a WrestleMania main event? Is main event Jey Uso a WrestleMania main eventer? And to that, I'm saying, nah.
No way.
Well, we used to call Rob before Rob Van Dam was even the main event dude. We were nicknaming him Mr. Saturday Night and giving him nicknames.
Hold on. I'm sorry, I love you to death, but you cannot compare.
I'm
Jey
not
Uso to the God himself.
Trust me, I'm not comparing.
Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View. I mean, RVD to this day is Jesus Christ compared to Jey Uso.
I'm saying in general as to what the gimmick.
Tried to draw a parallel from fucking main event yeet shit to Rob Van Dam. It's not you can't even put the same sentence. Erroneous on all accounts. You're done.
I can't wait for somebody now that Netflix is Raw is uncensored for them to actually say, Jey Uso, you can yeet shit.
Yes, that would be pretty great.
And then Ryan just popped in with a comment. Ryan says Cena is confirmed to be with WWE till the end of the year.
Ugh.
I mean, that's 365. I mean, that's a full-time schedule. They're saying he's wrestling a full-time schedule. I don't know.
And how convenient that Nikki Bella was at ringside. Ooh.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's another a tough one. I mean, I was seeing a lot of comments and people just saying how old she looks, and I felt bad for her because she looks pretty good. But I mean, that's not cool to just rip her apart like that.
No, that's rude. Also, when she was dancing, Bill Simmons from the Ringer.com, formerly of ESPN, now of the Ringer, was sitting behind her trying to not stare at her ass that whole time, and she's just dancing and shaking. He's like staring straight ahead at the ring like, I hope my wife is not watching Netflix right now.
You have no choice but to look. There's nothing else you can do.
You can look, but you can't touch. But
it is. I
can't stand her.
But what about Cole putting her over heavy? Saying, hey, she helped the evolution. She helped put women on the map.
I suppose when her and her sister were so bad that the fans actively turned on the Divas division and demanded that the NXT women be promoted to the main roster. Yes, they did. Like,
Yes,
that's the
I
only.
know that Bellas, that's part of the reason why the evolution of women's wrestling happened.
That it's the definition of failing upwards. They did such a bad job that WWE had to retool the entire division.
If this is the best we got, we need help. Exactly.
Bella, yeah.
Okay, it was the Bella Twins. At that point, it was the Bella Twins. It was Summer Rae. It was Eva Marie. Oh yeah, there was a real evolution of women's wrestling. No thanks.
No, I agree. So let's get right to it then. Main event, like you said, there were only 4 matches, but they did a lot in 3 hours and they only had 4 matches. Main event is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. As David liked to say in the comments, Punk beat Rollins and made him into a CM Punk wannabe. I don't know if that's, completely accurate, but the finish of them,
It's the exact same finish he did with Jon Moxley 2 years ago.
It was the same finish he did with Moxley 2 years ago?
The double GTS. He did the one GTS. He landed on top of him about the rope. He picked him up and did it again. The 2 GTSs in a row. That was the exact same thing when he beat Moxley for the world title in AEW.
I was just going to say, was it it was the Moxley match for the world title? As soon as you said it, I could pop it in my head.
Exact same finish.
He also wore the jacket with the 3 X's from when he beat the shit out of what is it, the Jurassic Boy, whatever his name is.
Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Yep, I saw that too.
There it is. Good parallel there.
Yeah, like last night was a total just dig to AEW from CM Punk.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because like he came like you hate to shit talk an old man who hasn't wrestled in 13 years, but like he came back to AEW looking all AIDSy and skinny, and then he takes like 6 months off after getting fired, and he comes back just like magically jacked. This straight edge dude who's definitely not on HGH or testosterone replacement or any of that stuff. He's definitely not on Clen or Tren or anything like that. He's completely clean at 50 something years old, looking like that. Yup, he's clean, straight edge guy.
Did you know AZ?
What? Yeah.
I thought I'm like,
did you? CM Punk was like they threw him in the friggin' dryer before he went out in AEW. Like, I don't know what it was. Like he was sunken. It was like they unburied a mummy, and then finally, like he sucked enough souls to look normal, and that's what he looks like on Raw now.
Oh my god, I can't. That was good.
I mean, I gotta be honest. That match was fucking terrible. I think Punk is completely washed. I feel bad for Rollins because Rollins usually could put on a match with anybody. That guy could carry a match without even fucking trying, and that was just rough. Punk is washed. He can't do it anymore.
I mean, that was unfortunately the consensus when he tried to do that. He tried to do the buckshot lariat against Hangman in AEW and just couldn't do it. Like,
he just doesn't have the footing. He doesn't have the placement. It just obviously it's not fair to judge, like you said, a 13-year-old, 56-year-old man who hasn't wrestled in 13 years.
I know we're exaggerating about his age, but not by much.
No, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, that's legit the truth. It's like it's unfair of us to judge a gentleman because he hasn't been in the fucking ring forever. But at the same time, like,
someone wants to say goodnight to you. There he is.
Good night.
Good night.
Go ahead, baby.
I just see. I'm glad. I'm so glad everything's all right. Oh my god. That
stuff.
She goes, "Is that Vince?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Can I say goodnight?" I said, "Sure." I did not mean to interrupt you, Sam. I apologize.
No, that's
fine. No, that's the best. That's why we do it.
Yeah, that scared the shit out of me earlier this week. So I'm just glad everything's
shit out of you.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not even there.
You know, we all feel for you. That's how it works.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys are my other family, and I appreciate that. But when she was going back to her room and she heard Vince's voice.
Oh.
So she normally says hi to Vince and Steve either before a show or after a show. So since she's going to bed and she heard him, she came running in.
Sure thing.
the voice of all Connecticut and Boston.
We can, we can talk about how CM Punk is washed any old day. If Gabby wants to interrupt, she can interrupt. You know what I mean? And she gets carte blanche.
That's no new news. We'd rather have Gabby on there. She's much better. She's more interesting than this straight edge bullshit Pepsi Cola.
So now,
loves my free range children, as he calls them. So
they were good. Well, because one time you were on stream and I forget who it was. Whatever the youngest one at the time, just like ran through a live stream in just a diaper and like ran down the hallway like a Tasmanian devil. It was Gabby. Yeah.
Gabby. Yeah. She's going to be 9 next month.
Oh,
God bless her. That's awesome.
Maron. All right. Yeah. Wow.
Getting old.
Yeah. So this year, Autumn will be 17. Rosie will be 13. Alex will be 11 and she'll be 9.
And they were all much, much younger when we started this podcast.
When I started with you guys, Gabby was 10 months old.
Wow.
That's actually crazy.
Yep. She was my
9 years.
It was 10 months. It's going to be 9. So that's how long I've been part of the show.
That's wild to think that we've been doing it this long, that those kids have grown up.
We gotta find a way to buy Steve out and fire his ass. I'm working on it.
Yeah, and Tara's glad Gabby's okay. Thank you, Tara. Of course.
Yeah, but Maven was when Autumn was in 3rd grade. She's going to be a senior.
Oh.
Remember when we had the Maven? When we had Maven Huffman on? He was in 3rd grade. He'll be a senior in August. So let's put it that way.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
And just we'll get back to Punk in a second. I just want to clear up this comment because I don't know what he's going to do. But speaking of AEW, changing Edge's name to Cope was the stupidest decision ever. It was his decision. We'll get into that real quickly. I know we're not discussing the AEW. I'm just saying, no, it's silly because, here's the thing. He was always Edge. He was always a character. When he came back to AEW, he was Adam Copeland. And I think he feels weird about just using his fucking full government name on national television and wanted to use like a nickname. But his last name is Copeland. And the only thing they could come up with as a nickname was Cope, which ain't great. People were like, couldn't you use Ledge?
Mm-hmm.
It's tough because if you try to think of it from like a commentary perspective or just a promo, like it's hard to just say here's Cope, like it just doesn't work. Right? So it's usually some adjective or some adverb that you can add to make that more fun, but there's nothing you can do with Cope, nothing. And I'm a wordsmith, and I'm at a loss.
Dude, there was a point on Collision. There was a clip where Nigel McGuinness was doing commentary, and he's like, it was the trios match with Rated FTR and the Learning Tree, and he's like, "There's Cope, and Big Bill goes to the top rope. Did he hit that move? Nope. Like he just kept."
He was just rhyming shit to make it sound good.
And then Tony Schiavone had to shut his microphone. Like he was laughing too hard. He had to mute his microphone. It was great.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to ask the same question or a similar question that I asked about John Cena that I asked about CM Punk. And I really feel like we're in a fucking time machine here. Is CM Punk getting a night 1 or night 2 WrestleMania main event to check off that box of CM Punk has never main evented a WrestleMania?
Night 1.
Yeah, it's a real tough call. I mean, I think that's part of what he allegedly signed, right? We could always speculate, but when he got injured at the Rumble, after taking that Future Shock, we all saw it. We knew right away that the Dax was being thrown up. It sucked, because that would have been the time. That would have been perfect. That Mania was the right time for it to happen. But I mean, are we really going to just job out Gunther just because Punk doesn't have a Mania moment? I mean, I think that sucks for Gunther, but he doesn't really necessarily lose anything because he's still the ring general, So I don't know. I mean, it's a tough booking there again, but I just don't think Cena should get the main event and get the belt, or maybe Cena Punk. Who knows, right? That would be.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Is there a way to get the belt on one of those guys, and then you have them feud at WrestleMania? Because 13, 14, 15 years ago, that should have been a WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
100% should have been.
How bad would that match be? It would have to be 6 minutes.
Yeah. They had Punk versus Jericho, and I know The Rock came back, and that was why like Cena was in the main event with The Rock, but like it felt like the same way Cena and Edge was like a generational feud for them. Punk and Cena was the next like evolution of that. Punk and Cena was a blood feud for a long time.
Vince hated that though. Vince did not want that to go through.
Oh no, he hated it a lot. Listen, I was locked in a little bit more with some very high up wrestling people, and the day of WrestleMania 30, like an hour before the match, I'm getting texts from one of the boxes, and they're like, Vince still doesn't like this Daniel Bryan kid. He doesn't get it. He doesn't think the guy's over. Like, I'm getting these texts the day he's winning the world title. I'm getting them I'm sitting on the floor, and the guy I'm talking to is sitting up in a box. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
That's fucking crazy. And look at that. That's a moment forever. That's for a huge fucking win at the Mania.
It's WrestleMania 30. It's all this stuff, man. Yeah. There's a lot, there's a lot to it. WrestleMania 30 at the time was like, a really big deal. I know it's been topped by other WrestleManias now, but like the scale of it at the time was huge. You had Batista coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H was still like around in a wrestling role. That was a big show, and it opened. I mean, how do you not pop when, despite his flubs, the first three people you see at a WrestleMania are Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold, and they're all in the ring together? Okay.
That's huge moment.
Yeah.
If you had the pencil, how would you book this Mania? How would you put Punk, Cena? I mean, this gets really interesting. There's a lot of possibilities here.
I would have, because the drama is that they probably want to give Cena and Punk the final two in the Rumble. So I think that's probably where they're going with that. For me, I'd find a way. It would mean more for Cena to win at Mania, and I don't think Punk would care about winning or losing at Mania as long as he got a main event. So here's what I would do. I would find a way that John Cena goes in the Elimination Chamber and win. Gunther gets eliminated early in the Elimination Chamber. John Cena comes out last from the chamber and wins. He gets that world title. Punk has already won the Rumble by eliminating Cena. So that's the order of events. Final two is Cena and Punk. Punk eliminates Cena. Punk gets his main event. The next pay-per-view is Elimination Chamber. Gunther gets eliminated early by whoever he's going to face at Mania. Cena comes out of the chamber last, wins the title. And he carries it to Mania sometime along the thing at a Raw. CM Punk declares, I've picked who I'm going to face. It's going to be you, John Cena, because 15 years ago, whatever the fuck. And, or wait. No, I fucked that up. I fucked that up. I fucked it up. I'm dyslexic. I fucked that up. Cena wins. I am. No, listen, I am actually dyslexic. I fucked that up. Cena wins the Rumble. Punk wins the Elimination Chamber and has a title. Cena says, I'm challenging Punk. And then Cena wins at Mania.
You fixed a lot of problems there. That makes sense. It's logical. I just don't think you should put these two old men in the ring as a main event of any Mania when they won't be able to.
No.
They can't put a match on for 10 minutes. I mean, listen, last night is an indicator of anything. Even Rollins could not put this kid over, and Rollins is half their age. And they had 15 minutes tops. It was probably 11 and a half minutes of actual match time. So I mean that's embarrassing. So I don't know. Can't see that at this stage of the game for Punk, who can't do it with a younger guy who's better than both of them. Strange.
Yeah. No, listen. I know it's a weird. WWE is constantly in a weird spot with these older legends when they either want to go on one last run or they bring them. They've been away for a few years and they sign them back because there's been a big gap of time where there was a power vacuum and new wrestlers have filled that void. You have new main event. The main event scene has turned over 4 fucking times since Cena was a main eventer. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's the way it is. So now they come back. The expectation from them and from their diehard fans is that, okay, Cena's back. He's going to be in a main event. He's going to be in a world title program. Same thing with Punk. He's going to be, they expect him to be in a world title program. Can they get it done?
Put over the young cats. That's what I want.
They
if
should.
if he's gonna go, because he's a master at this, right? Like, if he's gonna do a full year, I think whatever. Every month he puts over on a new new character. Somebody gives him a shot, right? Like, that's the way it should be. Doesn't mean he can't win a few here and there. He hasn't won a match in like 4,000 days, whatever the fuck he said. And I mean that's the way it should be, because realistically he can't win a fucking match. Like, you're doing your shitty moves and nobody gives a fuck, right? So like, let's figure this shit out. Like, you're not gonna be the prototype. You're not gonna actually collar and elbow tie up with someone when you don't even have hair on the back of your head. You can't stand up anymore. Your knees are buckled. Like, let's be realistic here. We're here for nostalgia. Do your 5 moves, be in a tag match, be in a triple whatever trios match, because that's what they're gonna do with him for like 4 months straight. He's gonna be with like, whatever, the LWO for like a week. He'll be like an honorary LWO guy. He'll be an honorary Oos. So this is what they'll do with him, because there's just no way he's gonna go a 30-day program with Drew McIntyre. It's not fucking possible.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. Like, we know this already. I think Nostalgia Sam would love that shit with Punk and him, but I just don't know how you write yourself out of that one after you actually put it. Like, we actually have to see a match in the main event of Mania.
Right.
Like, we have to see that in some way. And it can't be a squash. It can't be some Goldberg shit, because it's not going to work.
But it doesn't have to be for a title either. I don't want either one of them winning Elimination Chamber or the Royal Rumble.
No, I know what you mean.
I think we're pretty confident that Cena's taking the Rumble. I mean, it's a done deal. There's just no way they could write anything better than that right now.
Right.
He's coming in at 29, 30, and he's taking.
He can get eliminated by Santino Marella. You love John Cena.
Oh god.
I don't like you, John Cena.
John Cena.
John Cena.
Hey, Buckaroos.
Let's get out of it.
End of Raw. How do we feel about it? After the match, it just kind of ended, right?
Boring.
Yeah, there was like not a post whatever.
I expected a little something. They literally just cut it at the 3-hour mark on the dot. They just went to black.
Interesting.
You had to go to Facebook for the press conference.
Yeah, but why would I want to do that if I'm already on Netflix? It just doesn't make any sense. Just leave the fucking cameras rolling. It's free. It's free 99.
Free 99.
You're not paying anything. Like, what would it kill them to leave it on for 20, 30 minutes of us watching a press conference? Like, I don't think. Again, it's streaming, so you don't have to watch it. You go watch your other stream show. It's
right.
Not cable that's forcing you, but would it have killed them to just leave it on? Kind of sucks.
Like I said, there were a couple of kinks that have to get fixed, like, throughout the show. Like, at the one point when you could see the screen and you could see that the Undertaker was clearly backstage on his motorcycle. There were quite a few things that were.
Yeah, that was the cameraman's fault. He fucked that up. Or whoever was in the back didn't cut. They should have come to a different shot.
Glitches and things that they messed up on throughout the night. Nothing major. Like, okay, if they're going to do the press conferences every week, hey, Netflix, pick up the press conferences too.
Definitely. I mean, 242 fucking million. That's insanity.
Right. No, I agree.
Tyson and Paul did 80.
Yeah.
They did 242. Holy shit.
Netflix expected that number to be that big, to be honest.
I definitely don't think they expected that.
No.
Okay. They underestimated the power of the wrestling fans.
Yo, for real.
Yeah, the wrestling community is legit. It's just nice to be actually on a global stage now,
Absolutely.
Felt really good. Really did. That first hour, I think the first hour killed.
It's different for guys, but like for how many years, like I know as a girl, we had to keep it on the DL that we were even wrestling fans or we liked it, because it was like, wait, you're a girl and you like professional wrestling? It was a weird thing to be. So now to see it front and center, guys, girls, whatever, like every time like I see Vanessa Hudgens going apeshit at ringside, I'm like, that was what I couldn't be as a kid.
Right.
You couldn't be that center about it. Like, oh, where you going this weekend? Oh, I'm going out with my dad. I was at a house show at Nassau Coliseum, but I never told my friends I was going. because unless they knew or like wrestling, it was never a thing. Like I knew Eric since I was 11 years old. I think finally, like in my junior year of high school, was when I found out that he found out that I was a wrestling fan, and he knew me for 8 years.
Wow.
The world
That's weird.
On us.
It was closeted for that. So now, like I said, the fact that my kids go to school, if my daughter goes to school in her Cody Rhodes or her Usos hoodie, or she wears her MJF t-shirt, I couldn't have done that shit.
No, and even when, as a kid I did, but it was like, it was kind of cool for a little while. Like there was a very brief 3 or 4 year window where you could get away with a DX or an NWO or a Stone Cold shirt.
Right.
And then,
you're a school.
Right. Yeah. But not. And then there was a point where just wrestling wasn't cool. It was like, mid 2000s, you had the SmackDown 6 and you had like TNA, and it was like really the good wrestling was on the indies, but you couldn't watch it because YouTube isn't a thing yet. So you had to like buy DVDs from, I don't know, there was a whole weird thing going on where wrestling, the good wrestling was so niche. And then once YouTube and video sharing and streaming and all that stuff really picked up a pace, that kind of wrestling became more mainstream. And now you see those guys who were indie guys like a Moxley and a Rollins and all that other they're the main event guys now.
Yep.
And it's almost like that thing where Dungeons and Dragons is like a nerdy thing, but now Dungeons and Dragons is like cool.
Right. Yep.
So, yeah.
Like LARPing and stuff and everything. Yep.
I think it just takes time. It's a generational thing. Every 10 years, every decade or so, shit changes. There's a shift, right? So, what wasn't cool then is then, and then it all is cyclical and comes back, right? Like the 70s are in again. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but as I'm saying, but from their perspective, like it was okay for the guys my age or whatever to be wrestling fans. It was
weird. It wasn't for yeah.
I was the weird girl because I played ice hockey. I watched football.
Fair, but for those guys, you were a gem, right? You were fucking diamond. So at the same time, you got to pick and choose your battle. That's a win there. You could have a whole group of people like, we finally got one. We love her, right? So that's all pretty cool.
I think there was maybe 2 of my closest girlfriends and maybe 4 of my good guy friends that like they would come to my house to watch like SummerSlam, Survivor Series and stuff because my parents would always let me get the pay-per-views and shit. But like I said, throughout from 3rd grade to probably my junior year of high school, maybe 6 people knew. And I had way more than 6 friends.
You know what's even funnier though, to segue a little bit from that, is that I think Tiffany Stratton winning the belt
my God.
Was a better moment than Punk and Rollins at Raw on Netflix. I mean, that shit was classic.
Yeah, and it's everything you want in a cash in.
Good storytelling. Great fucking they mapped that out perfectly. It was beautiful.
And because like we were waiting. we kind of early on we had a sense that maybe they were going to potentially pull the trigger on this cash in very quickly, and then they introduced the pink briefcase, and then we all were like, nope, this briefcase is sticking around. They're going to sell replicas, which they did. Like, and they didn't rush it. And her beating Nia is a big deal. Like, you know what I mean? It's a Money in the Bank cash in, but still, like, it's a big deal. It felt big. Nia being such a presence and not being nearly as terrible as she used to be. Like, she's still, like, she's not Ric Flair, but like she's way better than she used to be.
I carry a match now. She's fucking solid.
It's amazing that she was the turnaround that she was able to do, and like that helped. Like the old Nia Jax, this wouldn't have meant as much if Tiffany cashed in on her, because it's like, oh boy, Nia Jax, who cares? But like this Nia Jax was like what, Queen of the Ring winner and women's world champion, all this stuff, and she held it for a while. And
like the match between her and Naomi was actually pretty good. And I normally don't care for Nia Jax matches, but she, like you said, she's been putting up some pretty solid matches. I'm like, okay, I didn't hate this match.
Nia Jax made Candice LeRae relevant, which is fucking tough. So,
She's going into the Hall of Fame just for that.
like that should automatically be. She should be Queen of the Ring forever for that one thing. Because poor Candice LeRae, she's a solid worker, but she's fucking useless. She has zero personality. Her gimmick a poison pixie. Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you talking about her or her husband?
Same shit. Johnny Wrestling is the most useless wrestling person ever. Like, give me a can of Raid spray and I'll kill fucking Candice LeRae's poison pixie. Like, and then Johnny Wrestling doesn't even wrestle. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Do it yourself, my ass. You should do it yourself and stay the fuck home, you lazy bum. Like, what the fuck is going on? These guys used to be quality on the indie scene. You know what I mean? It's so weird.
I remember watching the indies, and this is going on like 10, 15 years ago. And I watched it, I go, this fucking Johnny Gargano, I don't get it. This was when I was a young man. I'm an old man. I got gray hair now, and I'm still saying the same thing. Johnny Gargano, I don't get it.
I know. I wish I could I love Tommaso. I wish I could love him, but I can't.
Good old Thomas Penmanship, which used to be his original ring name, is great.
Penmanship is fucking hysterical.
Thomas Penmanship is an awful name, and they gave it to him. I think they gave it to him as a rib, but yeah, no, Tommaso is great. Johnny Gargano is not bad because I saw him. They had an NXT in Bridgeport, Connecticut a couple years ago, and it was him against Adam Cole. I want to say it might have been 2 out of 3 falls. I don't know. They had a good match. Like, it was a fun match, but like, I'm not going, hey kids, gather around the TV. Johnny Gargano's on. Like, that's not happening.
His name is Johnny Gargano.
No, hang up. I don't care if your mother's in the hospital. Hang up the phone. Johnny Gargano's about to wrestle.
Candice LeRae? Who wrote that fucking name? What are we talking about?
Is that even her? I bet you it's her real name. That sounds. They're both lame enough to be real names.
You should have named himself Johnny Mnemonic.
Are you Googling what LeRae's real name is?
Candice LeRae Dawson. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Poor thing.
And Johnny Gargano. John Anthony Nicholas Gargano. He had 4 shots at an interesting name and couldn't figure out one.
You can't trust anybody that has two or 3 first names.
John Anthony Nicholas Gargano. That sounds like
3 first names.
That sounds like my ancestors coming over from Ellis Island.
His name is.
It just sounds like a bunch of guineas getting off a boat, and they're like Johnny Anthony Nicholas. You know what I mean? It's like,
there goes Jonathan Andy Nicholas.
Oh my goodness!
His name is my name too.
There's an old match, and I guess maybe we'll finish up because we're starting to get silly. But there's a match between, I believe it's Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega, and Danielson came out. They both got introduced as John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Okay.
His name is my name too, and they're like arguing over who's the real John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
I gotta find that.
It was PWG. If you put in like PWG. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, whatever, you'll find it. It's there.
That's sad.
Yeah, but it was like that was the tip of. I mean, in 2007 or whenever it happened, that was like, you know, one of those things you shared. The same thing of like Ophidian hypnotizing the roster of who was it? Wasn't GCW. But it was like all the hardcore wrestling guys, and the snake guy is like hypnotizing him, and then they all start doing like the dance. They do like a conga line around the ring.
Classic shit. Love it.
Old wrestling. I love the old stuff. It's old now, but like I remember, dude, people would think I was the weirdest in college because I had a laptop and I would just go to like WrestlingGoneWrong.com or like any of the like botch sites. And
I love botching, man.
Dude, I would watch John Moxley get hit in the chest with a weed whacker. Like they just had this shit. Like it was crazy. the reason his hair's all messed up is because they blunted it down, but he took a Sawzall to the forehead when he was like 20 something years old.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Oh, it's just, like, and he did it so hot. Like you want to do it high up so it's behind your hairline, but like he messed his whole hairline up by cutting his forehead with a Sawzall.
I don't want to shit on Moxley that too much, but have you recently seen his like jujitsu fights where he gets his ass whipped and like he just like starts crying to the referee every time he loses? It's the funniest shit ever.
Oh yeah, he does the blood sport, but then he usually puts somebody over in it. Yeah.
No, not even like actual jujitsu.
Oh, actual jujitsu? Oh
Yeah.
no, I've got to see this.
He's in the. I'll send it to you. So
He complains to the ref like a heel. That's so
Yeah,
great.
like he actually loses, and he's never won a real fight.
He's going.
never
He's
won.
pulling my hair, ref. He held on to the rope.
The ref like makes a decision. It's like, win, right, to the other guy, and Mox is like, what? He's selling a gimmick. Like, bro, this is a real fight. You just got your ass whooped.
That's actually
that's
pretty
the best.
funny. Holy shit.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, we'll watch all these videos later, and maybe we'll figure out. There's so many new functions on this freaking StreamYard. I got to figure out how to use them because, like, we can put videos in, and like, there's the video beforehand. Like, we could put like a little countdown video before the show starts, and like have it play stuff like music and
Oh, let's fucking
clips
do
and
it.
stuff.
We got some new music coming for the show. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're working on that, right?
Yes, sir. Gonna
Oh,
need
and
some-
I also hear rumblings of a new album.
whole new record coming. Started this past summer.
Mm,
Awesome.
that's what I like to hear. So yeah, when you have more info or more song, like when something's ready for us to listen to, I'd love to listen to it.
100%. It's coming soon.
Hell yeah. All right. So I guess we'll get out of here unless Kat, you have anything you want to close out with?
Nah, I'm good. I'm just enjoying the combo.
Right. Yeah. But we'll I mean
I want listening rights before it gets released, though, Sam. That's just my
oh
thing.
we want a preview. Yeah, we got to get a preview before it goes on iTunes or whatever.
It'll be
Gonna
on
write
all
a new
major
song.
streaming
I'm gonna
platforms.
write a new song that RVD is better than Jey Uso.
I mean, I think he's right though. I think RVD's way better than Jey Uso.
Oh no, I agree with him. I'm just saying
Okay.
because that's what you got on Tilt On about or whatever. It's just got to be a brand new song.
I have to come
Yeah.
up with something, but the point is that you can't even mention the two in the same conversation. In any way, it's not.
Do you know what I want to see now? I want somebody to take to go into the newest WWE 2K game and make RVD do Jey Uso's entrance.
Oh God, I can't do it.
I'm just picturing with his raspy voice, like yeet, whatever, yeet. I don't know what yeet. What does it mean? Yeet. I don't know what it means.
Rob Van Yeet.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh, that's awful.
I hate it.
So bad. Put on the
I will never put them in the same category ever again, Sam. I promise.
Thank you. Can't put Macho Man glasses on a Uso. It doesn't work. Stop.
Oh, that has to go. Now that I will admit freely.
Yeah, I don't like those.
You're not macho. Love you to death, but you're not macho. Let it go.
No, right?
Vince.
All right, so I guess we'll close it. I had to send a text message. I'm sorry. So we'll close things out here. It's good to be back. I spent a lot of time writing this thing with a writing group, and now the writing for the most part is done. And now it's a matter of like trying to find somebody to fund the filming of the first episode so we can have it as a proof of concept and shop it around. So that'll be fun to try and find investors. But the more I know about that, I'll tell you. Am I on? I should
talk to me later after this. We'll sidebar.
Hell yeah. Let me just also I want to see if my working. If I'm working, I'll tell you guys so I can plug listening to me. What's the weekend? Oh, nice. I have Saturday off. I'm not on the air this Saturday.
Nice.
I'm on next Saturday, and I'm on Tuesday.
Back under where she belongs, so you know.
So
I love you, Natalia.
Dude, I can't wait because I know Steve either is, I don't know if he's listening now or if he's going to listen like later. I can't wait for him to see that I love you, Nadia thing. I want to see his reaction to that.
I love you, Nadia.
Love you, Nadia. Perfect 10. Nadia.
These moments where it's perfect to have a teenager that knows how to do good photoshopping shit under 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was really quick. That was really quick.
Dude, I'm like, oh, the front and center. What? Make me an I love you, Nadia Jacob Fatu. She's like, I got you.
Wow, you just threw it out. Like, that was pretty good that you were able to just throw it out like that, and she did it.
Yep, and she texted it to me, and I'm like, shit. That's why I left the show for a minute, because it wouldn't let me change the avatar while I was on live.
Yeah, you have to like go off and gotcha. But I didn't put this one up when we were talking about it, but from 20 minutes ago, Eric said we would have been a bigger Bryan Danielson winning the world title at WrestleMania 30 would have been a bigger moment if not for Taker's loss, sucking the air out of the arena. I was there for that.
There too.
It was, yeah, that was the weirdest, because you're sitting there, you're waiting, the match is over, you're waiting for like the ref to restart it or somebody to be like, nope, he really had his foot under the ropes or something. He rolled his shoulder. Nope, there was nothing. That fucking match was over and Brock Lesnar won. And yeah.
And they went to that horrible Divas match right after.
Couldn't even get the fuck up. He was gone. He was winded.
Well, I think he got did he get dropped on his head?
Yeah, he got
He said he was concussed, but that's bullshit. He wasn't ready. We all know the truth. He wasn't ready. He shouldn't have been in the fucking ring. It wasn't that time.
Right. Yeah, no, that was like I remember that was like a rough health year for him.
We all have, that's life. What are you gonna do?
I said, when it takes him longer to get to the ring than his actual matches, there's a problem.
Well, he could also learn how to high five Rhea Ripley, but that's
the cataract getting in the way and the glaucoma. We could let that. Blame that on Rhea.
With the money he's made, I'm sure he can purchase new eyes.
New eyes. That would be.
Okay. Tell Michelle McCool to get out of the audience and be his eyes next time. How about that?
It's the Undertaker. He's like, you're listening to the Undertaker podcast, sponsored by Dallas LASIK Surgery.
Featuring my wife, Michelle McCool.
If he gets a sponsor, he gets a LASIK sponsor for his fucking podcast.
Good dad. John Cena's getting Rogaine and he's getting freaking LASIK eye surgery. What the hell?
Bro, I want John Cena to just get a can of spray on hair. He's got to do something. Like, I don't know. Like,
where's Howard?
Who cares?
Archive somewhere.
Yeah, they get Fink's wig from the Hair Club for Men out of the old archives.
Yeah, from WrestleMania 10.
Oh, he can get Maury's wigs from Goodfellas. That'd be great.
Maury's wigs. They don't fall off even when wet.
Can I tell you though? So at WrestleMania 10, Howard Finkel must have been walking around ringside and down there for like the first good half of the show. None of us knew it was freaking him.
Why? Because he's wearing the thing?
Because of you could not even freaking tell it was him.
Well, he bought some Maury's in Queens. He got it from Maury's Wigs in Queens.
Right, Maury's Wigs
in Queens.
On Queens Boulevard, he got it.
Sounds about right, but like you could not notice that it was him. It was so funny.
Wow. Yeah, I mean it's it's a little change, but not real. Like once he puts a wig on, yeah, you've never. He was bald when he was probably 15 years old. That was the first time he's had a full head of hair.
But yeah, you could not. That was just the weirdest thing ever because people are like, "Who is that? Why is he getting it?" And it was when he finally started and they introduced him and he started talking. We're like, "Holy shit, that was him the whole time."
You know what's funny? I know we wrap it up here, but I completely forgot to mention this shit.
Yeah.
What about the doppelganger Samantha Irving doing the commentary, the announcing in the ring? What did you guys think of her?
Who? What's her name? Alicia, whatever.
Yeah.
I've been watching her on NXT for the past couple of years, so she doesn't bother me. I was surprised that Lillian wasn't doing Raw,
Right. Because
Yeah.
it sounded weird. It sounded like Samantha. If you just close your eyes and thought it was Samantha, you know?
But what's
I
weird
think
is, go
she's
ahead.
got a deeper voice than Samantha.
But the weird thing is, you're right. They made the decision because Lillian was on Raw and the other girl was on SmackDown. They made a decision to put her on Raw as like the new Raw ring announcer. Like that's her role, I believe. And I don't know if they're they're skewing younger on that, but at the same time, that whole show was nostalgia. If the whole show was nostalgia, you should have Lillian there ring announcing, even if she's not the permanent ring announcer. She should have been for that one.
Right.
Like that should have been her, out of the respect of like the year. And that's the problem. They never respect the years that they put in at that fucking company. She put in decades originally, and then she left, and then they hired her back because they had a void to fill. And like, give her the respect of doing that first Raw on Netflix, and I don't know, like a thank you, as just like like an acknowledgement of the hard work you did. I don't know.
Something. Give me something.
Yeah. Like I don't have a problem with her, Alicia as the ring announcer, but Lillian should have been even to let her be in the audience, or like if you're putting the legends in there and everything like that, something, because
Right.
she's put 20 years easy on Raw.
Yeah.
I remember my first beer too.
That joke's so old. When I laugh, I fall off a dinosaur.
Never gets old. Always play the classics.
From my chest pubes down to my ball fro. Shut the fuck up. I might have to go watch Step Brothers now.
Classic. The best.
All right. So I think everybody said their piece. We're all set for
Yep.
tonight. All right. Cool. I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Steve should be back next week. Follow us on social media at Tag Me a Date, no spaces. We're on most social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all, Twitter/X, whatever they call it. All that stuff. We're also on YouTube. Our live stream, the best place to get it is indeed the YouTube. You type Tag Me a Date into the search bar. You find our channel. You hit subscribe and you hit the bell, and you'll be notified when we go live. We go live Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on Eastern Time. And we also have the stream on Steve's LinkedIn and Steve's personal Facebook right now. Yeah. StreamYard has, again, been just not fucking up lately, but like changing things around. And we used to have this thing streaming all over the goddamn place. We used to be on Twitch and everything else. And now I think we're a little bit more limited to what we can stream to, but it's cool. The best place, as I said, is the YouTube. That's where our archive is of, most of these shows going back several years. If you want to go back and listen to WrestleMania, our WrestleMania season shows were a lot of fun. If you want to, if you're kind of looking forward to the road to WrestleMania as it's starting now, you can go kind of look back. We had, the preview shows, but then we did a Sunday show. That was a fun one. We did a Sunday show in between nights 1 and 2, and had a lot of fun. So we'll do that again. I think we'll do that again this year for WrestleMania, because that was great. It was the most viewers we ever had because everybody was in like a wrestling frenzy. It was crazy. But yeah, check out the YouTube or check out Steve's Facebook, or if you go to the Tag Me a Date Facebook page and give it a like, we share, or we'll share it there. We'll figure out a way to get to you. Just go to one of our social medias at Tag Me a Date. We'll figure this shit out together. 9 p.m. Tuesday nights Eastern Time, all that jazz. Like, share, comment, subscribe, etc., etc. I want to thank our good friend David Roska, the #1 world Nadia Comaneci fan in the entire universe. Tara, of course, for commenting. Eric and Ryan were in the comments. We'll see you on the show one of these days, boys. And with that, we'll be back, I guess, next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on a Tuesday, for another edition of the War Report. Have a great week, everybody.
Cheers.
I was waiting for that. Thank you.